Hi everybody, how y'all doing? So, we're on the same level here, so it's going to be hard for you people back there to see us.
Oh, yeah.
But you will hear me. See?
I think a lot of people here. This is a very exciting panel.
Hiya, Jessica. How you doing, honey?
Thank you for coming. I'm sure I don't need to introduce them, but we have Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin from Halloween 3. I guess I'll start with everybody knows that this movie kind of has gone up and down over time, where you made a movie that used to have Michael Myers and then this one didn't, and people got mad, but now people love it. So what was it when you were actually filming the movie, and at that time, what was the vibe filming a Myers-less Halloween?
Yeah. These work. Is this work?
Yes.
Is it on? Okay. So I'll start, and I'll stand. So anyway, I don't know that we ever even thought about Michael Myers until after. At least I don't remember. I know I didn't. I was thrilled that Tommy and John and Deborah Hill and Joy Carpenter and Tommy Lee Wallace, writer, director of this, invited me to do the role. It was a job, and I'm always thankful for a job, and that's the main reason for my doing what I do, is the work and the pay of it. So I was thrilled to get a job. I never thought about Michael Myers until after the movie, and we went to the first convention I went to, and some kid came up to me and said, "What the hell's the matter with you guys? Where was Michael Myers? Where was Michael Myers?" And I quickly developed a very defensive attitude and replied to most of those kind of queries with F-bombs and other things, how little I thought of Michael Myers. Okay.
Tom is a very hard act to follow. But
I am. I'm a noisy guy.
No, you're awesome. You're awesome. I feel the same. It was a job. I loved the character, which is why I was excited to do the part. It all happened very quickly, and like Tom, none of us were thinking about Mike Myers. We were just doing the project we were doing, and exactly, it really wasn't until 20 years later, maybe 25 years later, when we were doing these conventions, and people would bring up Michael Myers. And it was so interesting because the first several years of doing these conventions, so I'm talking like 2009 to maybe 2014, 15, 16 even, longer, people would come up and very sheepishly they would say, "I like this is my favorite." They were very embarrassed to say and admit that they loved this movie. And then about a couple of years ago, there was a whole generation of kids, like teenagers, people in their early 20s. This was the only one they'd seen, and they loved it, and they didn't understand what all the Mike Myers fuss was about, because they were raised on this. They weren't given the Mike Myers, and then they felt like they had to compare. So it, God bless the young people who really just, love it. And all of you who are converts, I guess, right? Like something like that.
I have to say, I love Halloween 3, and probably one of the most horrifying moments in film is when you get out of the shower and wrap yourself in a motel duvet. Every time we watch that part. But so I'm just wondering, in general, what's the grossest thing you've had to do for a film? This one or another film?
Wait, were you saying disgusting thing because those duvet covers are usually very dirty in the hotels? First thing we take off, right? Like off the bat. They don't use them anymore, by the way. I haven't seen a duvet cover in a long time. But that was because I had a no nudity clause in my contract. Yeah, so, you know, the love scene was, it wasn't terrifying, but it was a little awkward, wasn't it, Tom?
It was a little awkward, but it was, you know, it's part of it. It was easy, in the sense that Tommy and the crew made it as easy as possible on us. I think there was only Tommy and Dean Cundy, the cinematographer, cameraman, and maybe one or two other people in the room, and we got to do the scene that was, and I thought tastefully handled.
Yes.
And I'm glad you had a no nudity gun. I never thought to get that, so I had my bare ass there. You know, I have to tell you this. I once got to see a guy in Pittsburgh, where my hometown. He runs his science center there, and he has an IMAX theater. So he did Halloween 3 and invited me down for the screening of it and do a little Q&A after it. And so I got to see my ass 6 feet tall in that IMAX theater. And it was, I thought, wow, not bad. I looked all right back then.
Yes, you did. Tom was a total gentleman. To be specific, I actually had, it wasn't a no nudity clause, it got really specific.
Yeah.
It was a no nipple clause, just so you guys
Oh,
know. They
nice.
can go that
Yeah.
specific. So when we were doing the scene,
Yeah.
it was like, well, kiss her like 2 inches this way.
Oh,
and
yeah.
A little, right, remember?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Not very sexy, but we
Yeah.
had fun. But still, it's, you know, it's
I
so
love that
technical.
little nightie you wore. You look beautiful in that scene. So,
Too.
I have to say this. In what you were saying about fans, new fans, finding their way to this movie. Yesterday, there was a 9-year-old kid came to the table with his dad. His dad brought him, but the signing was for the kid, not the dad. And I said, have you seen this movie? I love this movie. So, and I asked Dad, so oh yeah, it's a really good movie and it still holds up and it's fun to watch now as it was back when we made it. And I find audiences like that at every convention, that there are new, really young kids coming into these old horror movies, at least the ones we did, because they still hold up. And you can root for somebody in them, and you can care about somebody coming out the other end of it okay and on both their feet and everything intact. And
That
a
wasn't
lot
me.
of them are just gory for no reason.
I did not come out intact.
You did not, no.
Both
You
feet,
came
I
out
had
in
both
numerous pieces.
Speaking of fans, does anyone have a burning question in the room that they want to ask? So that hand back there, orange hat.
Oh,
Look at
so
what his hat says.
So, was it in the script that Chalice was such a raging drunk? Or did you like kind of like dial that up when you were making it?
What?
That was in the script that you kind of add to that.
Was it in the script that Dr. Chalice was a drunk?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't make that shit up. He grabbed a drink everywhere he could. But I'll tell you, if he wasn't an alcoholic, I don't know that he was an alcoholic. I consider him an incredibly brilliant trauma surgeon with a drinking problem and a woman problem. He left a beautiful wife and 2 children to run off with a beautiful young woman, even younger woman, to find her father. Sure. So, but if he wasn't one, hearing that song played over behind every scene we did would have made him an alcoholic.
He's a functioning alcoholic, I think,
Yeah.
right?
He was an excellently functioning alcoholic. Yes, he was. I've had a few friends like that.
Your family members like that.
And what a doctor. I mean, mine barely shows up to an appointment, but you are going all over town investigating mysteries. Good on you. Speaking of Stacey being in pieces, I know there's like a large amount of like practical effects in the movie. Like, how much did you interact with those on set to see snakes coming out of children's heads and whatnot?
Oh, yeah. I didn't go in the room when they had the snakes and the bugs, and I'm a little phobic of those kind of things, so as long as I didn't have to be in there, I wasn't gonna be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only saw that stuff at a distance. So it was didn't we? I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, pretty much. I felt particularly bad. One of my dearest friends at that time was Ralph Straight, who played Buddy, the father of the family who got destroyed in the room. And I really felt bad for Ralph watching him to go through all that. And he was such a lovely, great guy, wonderful actor. We did Arturo Ui, a Brecht play at the Williamstown Summer Theater 3 times. But he did it twice. Different guy did it the 3rd time. But I used to love to go to New York every once in a while and run into him, and we would arrange every time I went. He ended up living on Staten Island and driving a cab, but he loved to go to Sardi's and have drinks, and he loved to go to piano bars and sing all those songs from musicals. Oh my God, he knew them all, and he had a great voice. He was just a wonderful guy. I miss Ralph terribly, and it was tough watching him die in that room with all the buggy shit. But I will tell you, my actual wife at that time, Garn Stevens, was supposedly in the motel room right next door to where Stacey and I were having our tete-a-tete. Is that a word? I don't even know. We were having our little nighttime nappy, and she died terrible, pissing around with her hairpin with a chip, and we ate her face. Yeah, that was awful.
So, Tom, you've been in horror, and you've been in so many horror movies over the last 40 plus years. And Stacey, you've been in some and then have returned to them. It's like, what is it about horror that keeps you coming back?
Like I said at the beginning, it's a job. People offer me a job, I'm taking it. I never had the luxury of being a star where I could pick my career path or scripts that were thrown at me.
I feel
it's
the
a
same.
job. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. We love working.
Yeah.
We do it. You know.
But after I got into The Fog was my first, and then I thought, well, these are kind of fun. I like doing these movies. Maybe I could become the next Vincent Price. I thought, and then I thought, nah, he's a little too grand. I'm more of the steel mill kind of acting process. And but I did get to meet him once in a funny, odd way. I was having a cherry Danish and a cup of coffee in a pastry shop near Cedar Sinai in New York, on the west side. Is it Cedar Sinai? I'm not sure what. It's Jamie Lee Curtis's favorite children's hospital. It's in like where Joe Allen used to be, so in that part of town.
St. Luke's Road.
Yeah, West LA or something.
Yeah.
So I'm in this pastry shop up at the end, cash register in the door down at that end, and I see him come in. I thought, oh Christ, that's Vincent Price. Man, oh man. But I was too intimidated to go up to him, and he's shopping, and so he bought a bag of pastries and walked out, and then came out the window toward me, outside on the sidewalk. So when he got in front of me, I rapped on the window, and I mouthed through the window, "I love your work." And he smiled and he said, "I love yours too." I was just tickled pink. It was wonderful. And then he went away around the corner, and I was happy for the rest of the day and the rest of my life.
Does anyone else have questions?
You touched on this earlier, but you don't answer which you think is scarier, the movie or the commercial.
Oh, what's scarier, the movie or the commercial? You talking about the commercial in the movie?
Yeah.
The movie or the commercial?
Yeah.
Oh my
think
God,
the
I hated that.
The
We
commercial.
all-
The
No.
commercial's pretty scary.
I don't think the movie is scary because you know what you're doing, and it's all for whatever you feel watching it. But that, oh my God, that song. There is a photo on my table with me holding a shot glass, looking up past the camera. And I usually sign on there, to Joe or whoever, "I need this drink." Atkins towel. And the reason, and you can see the look on my face, is, my God, if I have to listen to some of the bitch one more time. 3 more days till Halloween. Oh my God, it's loathsome.
We have a great armed question over there.
Kind of a two-part. Number one, were you a horror fan? And did you ever watch Halloween 3 again since then?
Are you a horror fan, and do you rewatch Halloween 3?
I'm not much of a horror fan. Like I said earlier, I don't like gory, like Saw, not much of a fan of Saw. I like horror movies that I can care about somebody in there and hope they come out the other end okay. And there's not too many of them being made now. But Get Out, is there a movie called Get Out? I love that. That was like a thinking man's horror movie. It was very scary, very scary. And the quiet ones, the ones where you had to be silent or the things would eat you, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll tell you though, the first horror movie that I fell in love with was Frankenstein in like the 1938 version with Boris Karloff. And The Bride of Frankenstein is my favorite of those old movies. And for sci-fi, The Thing from Another World from 1953, I think it might have been, with Hawks, director, writer, I think that, I love that. Oh my God, I couldn't believe they had all these people in the room and they're all talking at the same time and it was all overlapping and you could you knew what was going on. It was so scary. I'll tell you a little story about that. So, me and the gang in Knoxville, Pittsburgh section of Pittsburgh, local community in Pittsburgh. We would go to the Saturday afternoon movies, which usually involved like 17 cartoons and a double feature. Not always a double feature, but always 17 cartoons for a quarter. And this is 1953 when it came out. Me and Timmy McCleary and Dickie and Davy Hash and Georgie Harrison, and we all went up to the Mount Oliver Theater to see the thing. And it scared the shit out of me. It was wonderful, very spooky and weird and scary. And James Arness played the thing. So a week later, it was playing over the hill in Allentown. And I said to the gang, let's go see the thing again. It's over the hill in Allentown. We already saw it. I don't want to see it. I don't care. And we're all about 11, 12 years old, something like that. So I went alone. And it started at 4 in the afternoon. And I thought, as I'm in there, walking in, oh boy, this is going to be good. This is going to be great. Oh boy, wait a second. This is going to be over when it's dark. Oh man. So I'm in there and I'm watching it. And when they cut the thing out of the ice, and put the block of ice in the radio shack, and the radio man didn't want to look at it, so he put a blanket over top of it. But it was an electric blanket. It was heated. So they did a close-up of the drops of water melting from around the thing. And I knew what was going to come out of that block of ice. And I ran all the way home. Right then. I did not stay for the ending. I was gone.
Unfortunately, we have to get you back downstairs to your table, but I just want to have one final question because we are 6 days away from Halloween, I believe. Can you share from your childhood or adulthood, like the best costume you ever dressed up in, or the best Halloween memory that you've had in your life?
Oh, wow. I loved being a cat because that was always fun with the tail and the little face and could, do the cat thing. But once, when I think I was like 12, my best friend's mother was an amazing makeup artist, and she had us, we were Raggedy Ann and Andy, and I don't know where we got the costumes. We looked pretty cool.
Neat.
That was
Neat.
fun.
Yeah.
But playing dress up, that's what we do as actors, and that's why Halloween, I think, is so much fun for everybody, because we get to be something we're not or something we want to be. And so I hope everybody, even as an adult, have fun with it, right? How about you?
That's like my favorite Halloween costume as a kid. I don't really remember having one. I think there were 4 of us, so my mom, she didn't have any patience for it. My dad didn't care about it. I think we went out as hobos most of the time. A little black under the eyes, around the eyes, and shaggy clothes, which we wore every day. But they were appropriate for looking like a bum. I have to apologize to all of you that Tommy Lee Wallace is not at this show. If he was here, he would be doing all the talking, and it would be very ethereal and theoretic and magical and
Yeah.
so but he isn't here, so you're stuck with us.
We're happy to be. Thank you so much for coming, and everybody.